In the grand arena of political discourse, where ideas clash like gladiators in a colosseum of public opinion, Hasanabi emerges as a staunch sentinel, guarding the sacred tenets of leftist ideology against the encroaching tide of populist charlatanism.
It's because I forgot to run the 3-minute average at the top of the hour, and you're not an unironic Jimmy Dore writer in the year 2024. Like, that's crazy. Please, I'm not. Like, I forgot to run the 3-minute average. You're going to tell me that, right? Like, you're here to be like, haha, just kidding. Like, you forgot to run the ad break. That's why I'm saying this. I'm not kidding. Oh, God. We're back. We're back. Listen, this is a byproduct of being back. Okay? You're going to have some MAGA writers in here, and you're going to have some cranks in here. That's awesome. Here's the 3-minute ad break now for all, though. Unless you want to not see those ads. I love you all, but it sucks y'all still have beef. Brother, what are you talking about? It's the most one-sided beef of all time. I never wanted to talk about Jimmy Dore at all. I don't give a shit about Jimmy Dore. Get the out of here. Every single one of these, I never talk about him. I just talked specifically about cranks. His name was brought up for that reason. Like, this is not like a friendly contest where we were just like friends who we now have beef. Okay, I don't want anything to do with him. You stay bringing him up though. Can you find another moment where I brought him up in the past year? Like, it's going to be two editions. And it's because of forced to vote. We all know. No, you dumb. It's because he's like become this right-wing grifter who literally on anyone who doesn't come on his show, including Bernie Sanders. Okay. Who thinks that like there is a, allegiance that we can cultivate with like MAGA Trump supporters. Shut the up. Okay. Delusional nonsense. I hate how not only do I despise political cranks of this magnitude, specifically, I hate how parasocial and sweaty you are. Like, why won't my two favorite content creators make up? Like, Jimmy Dore is like a 65-year-old man, brother. What the are you talking about? Make up. Let him live his life. Go watch him if you want to watch him. I got nothing, I got nothing. With Jimmy Dore, Candace Owens attacking George Floyd. What is this? Jimmy Dore. The police did nothing wrong. They lied to you about George Floyd. Candace Owens. What is that? Is he a kick streamer? Is that Rumble? Yeah, dude, why can't you make up with my favorite political commentator ass Andes are so stupid? And the one clear and coherent through line here is that these people have no real values. They have no principles. They have no moral convictions. The people that like, you're just watching this for pure sport and this guy appeals to you in some way. And I say the same shit about Destiny too. I say the same shit about all these people that you're like, oh, why aren't you friends with these people? It's like, they're not my friends, dude. Okay, they're not. I have real, legitimate differences in opinion on a lot of issues, and all these would be happy that I don't talk about them, okay, instead of constantly talking about them like I do with Ben Shapiro. Jimmy is a kook, but he has legit political strats, that's all. No, he doesn't. Jimmy is an idiot, but they know American political strategy. Yeah, no, totally. That's why he's always cooking big time, dude. He kind of does. No, he doesn't. The are you talking about? No, he's sold himself to you as such. So you're just in here regurgitating that. The last best thing that Jimmy Dore ever did was spit on Alex Jones. Okay, that's it. He did that, and it's been downhill since then. It's so funny. Anyway, don't say hawk to a. Ugh, you guys are lame. Anyway, where are these Jimmy Dore stands coming from? I don't know. Jimmy Dore show. The forced the voters watched the Republican Party explode over the past year and are still running on that narrative that level of like chaos is actually was a sound strategy. Like, look at the Republican Party. They did the force to vote, which Democrats never can do regardless, but like they did that and they just have never let it go. Yeah, they it's so funny. They're just like wreckers. They claim to be leftists, but they have the utmost contempt for anyone who is like ostensibly on the left. The members of the squad, those are the worst people in American politics in their eyes, okay? They're all big phonies. And also the Republican Party, on the other hand, they're not so bad, actually. It's like the moment that you say that to me, look, I'm a very simple guy, okay? I'm not very smart. I recognize that all day, every day. The moment that I start feeling Like, you don't have the same level of smoke for the American Republican Party, which are the most significant terrorists in this goddamn nation, both domestically and in foreign policy. The moment that I feel like you don't have that level of smoke for the Republicans that you do for like AOC and whatever, I'm like, I'm done. I'm cutting you out. Democratic Party across the board. I despise the Democratic Party. I on them with regular frequency. The moment that you start taking for granted what the Republicans are saying and don't apply the same level of criticism that you have for these charlatans in the blue is a moment where you're done. You're done. I will never be able to take you seriously, because this is something that many people fail to consider. I talk about the Democrats a lot. So they come in here and they think, oh, this guy hates the Democrats just like I do. Okay, which is true. I do hate the Democrats. But the moment that you do not apply that same exact level of criticism to the Republican Party, it's done. It's over. I will never be able to take you seriously. The moment that you come at me and go, Josh Hawley is a real, pro-labor candidate, huh? He went to the picket line. Get the out of here, okay? The moment that you capitulate or even give a shred of legitimacy to like right-wing populism, immediately I'm like, I'm writing you off. You're a moron. You're the dumbest person in America. Like, why do we distrust the Democrats? They claim to care about the labor part. They claim to care about labor. They don't.
His scorn is directed with laser precision towards those who masquerade as champions of the left while peddling the most insidious of deceptions, chief among them, the figure of Jimmy Dore, whom Hassan deems a mendacious mummer in the theater of political rhetoric. Hassan's critique is not merely born out of personal animosity but is rooted in a profound dismay at the degeneration of leftist principles in the hands of those he considers to be intellectual charlatans. Jimmy Dore, in Hassan's estimation, epitomized this tragic fall from grace, a once promising voice who has now, in Hassan's eyes, sold his ideological soul to the lowest bidder. The charges levied are grave: an abandonment of core leftist values, a betrayal of the working class, and an unforgivable dalliance with right-wing populism. The essence of Hassan's disdain lies in what he perceives as Dore's cynical exploitation of leftist discontent for personal gain. Where once Dore might have been seen as a radical truth-teller, Hassan now sees only a grifter, a figure who stokes the fires of disillusionment not to galvanize change but to cultivate a cult of personality. Dore's flirtations with MAGA populism, his alliances with figures antithetical to the leftist cause, are, for Hassan, the ultimate betrayal. It is not enough to criticize the Democrats. Hassan insists that any true leftist must apply the same rigorous scrutiny to the Republican Party, which he views as the most dangerous purveyors of domestic and foreign terror. Hassan's rejection of Dore is not just a matter of policy disagreements but a repudiation of what he views as Dore's fundamental lack of principles. The so-called beef between them is, in Hassan's view, not a petty squabble but a one-sided struggle between authentic leftist commitment and the opportunistic machinations of a political impostor. For Hassan, Dore's willingness to engage with and even validate elements of the far right represents a descent into ideological perdition, a path that no true leftist should follow. The crux of Hassan's argument is the inconsistency and intellectual dishonesty that he believes define Dore's brand of populism. Dore's attacks on figures like Bernie Sanders and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, coupled with his apparent leniency towards Republican demagogues, reveal, in Hassan's eyes, a man more interested in controversy and clicks than in meaningful change. This is not the work of a serious political thinker but of a provocator who thrives on chaos and division. In Hassan's worldview, the left cannot afford to be led astray by such figures. The stakes are too high, and the enemies too formidable. The fight for social justice, for workers' rights, for true democracy, requires a clarity of purpose and a steadfastness of principle that he believes Jimmy Dore utterly lacks. For Hassan, Dore's rhetoric is a smokescreen, obscuring the real issues while pandering to a base that is more interested in entertainment than in effective activism. Yet, Hassan's criticism extends beyond Dore himself to the followers who enable and amplify his message. To Hassan, these individuals are not the vanguard of a new left but rather a misguided mob, seduced by the illusion of heterodox thinking but in reality ensnared in a web of intellectual laziness. They mistake contrarianism for critical thought, and in doing so, they undermine the very causes they claim to support. The irony, as Hassan sees it, is that Dore's audience often accuses others of being sheep, yet they themselves are herded into a pen of populist rhetoric, oblivious to the fact that they are being led astray. They fancy themselves as freethinkers, but in Hassan's estimation, they are simply dupes, unwitting participants in a charade that serves only to elevate Dore while dragging the left into disrepute. In this light, Hassan's diatribe is not just an attack on Dore but a call to arms for those who remain committed to the true principles of leftist thought. He urges his followers to reject the false prophets of the movement, to see through the populist posturing, and to focus instead on building a genuine leftist agenda that can stand up to the real forces of oppression. In addition to these issues, Dore's lack of intellectual rigor is also evident in his failure to engage with the broader theoretical frameworks that underpin political analysis. Unlike more scholarly commentators who ground their critiques in a deep understanding of political philosophy and economic theory, Dore's approach is largely reactionary, driven by immediate outrage rather than long-term analysis. This absence of a theoretical foundation renders his critiques shallow and episodic, disconnected from the broader historical and ideological currents that shape political realities. The consequences of Dore's approach extend beyond the realm of individual commentary. They reflect a broader trend in political discourse where intellectual rigor is increasingly sidelined in favor of entertainment value. In an age where social media algorithms reward sensationalism and controversy, figures like Dore thrive by appealing to emotions rather than reason. However, this shift towards a more superficial form of political engagement risks eroding the quality of public debate and undermines the democratic process by reducing complex issues to simplistic binaries. For Hassan, the path forward is clear. The left must reclaim its principles and purge itself of the grifters and opportunists who seek to hijack the movement for their own ends. This is not merely a matter of ideological purity but of survival, for if the left cannot distinguish itself from the right, it risks becoming indistinguishable in the eyes of the public, a fate that Hassan is determined to prevent. In the final analysis, Hassan's condemnation of Jimmy Dore is not just a personal vendetta but a defense of what he believes to be the soul of the left. It is a rejection of the cynicism and opportunism that he sees as the greatest threats to the movement, and a reaffirmation of the need for a principled, consistent, and effective leftist politics. For Hassan, this is the only path to real change, and any deviation from it is a betrayal not just of the left but of the very people it seeks to serve.